Okay, my counter-narrative, the parallels of secularism. How Burnham's City Beautiful plan of Manila embodies the social justice-based views of planning theory today. So beginning off, what the heck am I implying with secularism? In my research, I found two main intentions behind secularism. One is its intention to preserve religious freedom from the constraints and powers of government and public forces, and two, the intention to prevent religious forces from regimenting the public sphere. So pretty much the idea of separation between church and state. So how is this represented through planning theory texts? Well, one text such as Rajan's theory of justice, and also Talal Saad's formation of the secular, secularism is meant to create and preserve the public interest, which Susan S. Feinstein calls the enduring question of planning theory. Secularism aims to promote liberation and distributive justice by removing the ethos and power derived from any one religion or self-righteous ideology, and it replaces it with a political legitimacy that instead imposes a set of democratic ideals that serve freedom in the form of individually equated truths and rights. These truths and rights can be described as Feinstein and her co-author public interest, which was written as equal protection, equal opportunity, public space, and a sense of civic, community, and social responsibility. To draw one more parallel, again using Assad, is his quote of a heterogeneous, horizontal, direct axis character of modern society. So that's secularism. And so how can we break that down? Well, we can look to Sainer-Koch. Assad's description of direct access, with his attached implication of a homogeneous time sphere, actually reflects Sainer-Koch and Feinstein's own idea of the public interest. And I'll break down homogeneous very soon. But overall, his description includes three characteristics, which include the rise of the public sphere, which is the equal right of all to participate in communal-based decisions. 2 is the laying of free market principles and access within it. And 3, the idea of a homogeneous time sphere is a sort of utopian imagination of lives, where there are no evolved privileges or inequitably built structures. It is a smoothing of all areas and terrain. This is horizontal direct access. So how is this represented in Burnham and Anderson's City Beautiful plan of Manila? Well, for the sake of time, we can't go into City Beautiful ideology too much, but we'll be using Ian Morley's ethnographic account of Philippines' modernization as envisioned by Burnham. So Ian Morley was another author that we read in this class. But he writes that it too purposefully embodied secularism. Its transformation of the city was embodied by a collective draw away from the city's original Catholic center. The creation of public parks, the abundant planting of foliage, the laying down of new streets, the seafront, the construction of new public buildings, it all collectively aimed to promote the secular civic vision that at the same time undermined the Catholic spatial logic. So finally, continuing with Morley's account, this secularized transformation embodied the public interest, as described by Feinstein. Morley writes that Burnham and Anderson's emphasis on wide boulevards and promenades were aimed to cultivate an abundance of sightlines to the city's new political legitimacy. Its clear, wide, and direct sightlines to the large public spaces and monuments aimed to equally invite its citizens to participate in the society's public offices, and civic rituals. As we all know, this didn't quite happen. But overall, the intention was to show that the fundamentals of secularism can be embodied through a number of interpretations, even, honestly, the Second World War, and as well as what's more commonly thought of as communal today, such as New Urbanism. But overall, it's a very tailored narrative, but it was a lot of fun.